Boris, who do you want to plunge the dagger? Rishi, Liz, Penny, Mordaunt? But what if Boris and the ever more frenzied hamster wheel of Westminster doesn't matter much anymore? What if it's just surface froth and underneath the currents are running undisturbed in an entirely different direction? I said yesterday, as a kind of throwaway line, that we were moving into a post-democratic age in which entrenched elites decide everything that matters in your lives, whether it's hobbling Brexit or hushing up the lab leak origins of COVID. Even when we revile those elites, we tend to assume they're one of us, more or less snooty Highgate dinner party types with second homes in Tuscany or Provence, as the cliches have it. But there are all kinds of elites out there. Today, Ian Duncan Smith revealed in the Commons that MI5 had informed the Speaker of the House that a Chinese government agent had been active at the Palace of Westminster, quote, working with a member of Parliament, obviously to subvert the processes here. It reminded me almost immediately of Eric Swalwell, the California congressman on the U.S. House Intelligence Committee, who was penetrated by the Chinese honey trap Fang Fang. You only fang twice. Here's Mr. Swalwell in his best James Bond get-up. Oh yeah, there we are. Fang Fang was nothing if not diligent. The FBI got her on audio tape making out in an automobile with an elderly Midwestern mayor who couldn't quite understand why a comely young thing such as her had the hots for a decrepit wreck such as himself. And Fang Fang replied, "I have always wanted to improve my facility with the English tongue," which I believe is a line straight out of Roger Moore's 007 classic, The Spy Who Loved Me. Indeed, there's Roger Moore, Rogering Moore as is his wont. Is this Chinese agent at Westminster another Fang Fang? Lord McFall, the Lord Speaker, identifies the lady as Christine Lee and says she was facilitating payments to serving and aspiring parliamentarians from China. One backbench Labour MP was given £500,000, which isn't chump change, and he employed Ms. Lee's son in his office until this morning, which is unusual. I would doubt you could find many British intelligence agents whose children are openly employed by Chinese politicians. But you shouldn't be surprised by that. China's bought up just about everything and everyone that matters around the planet. And even if it's only a mopping up operation, that eventually extends to British members of Parliament. China's snaffling up the Commonwealth country by country, from the Solomon Islands to Uganda to Antigua. It has the world's largest surface fleet. Like Russia, it's testing hypersonic weapons. That's space nukes in the common parlance. It's already been glimpsed at Washington's abandoned Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, a war which America lost in as humiliating a way as possible, but which neither their politicians nor ghastly parade generals seem capable of digesting. The truth is, China may have taken over the world without firing a shot. Meanwhile, having taken 20 years to lose to goat herds with fertilizer, Washington's national security establishment has swiveled smoothly from the fall of Kabul to saber-rattling over Taiwan and the Ukraine, fully confident that the same genius military that managed to return Afghanistan to the Taliban with more territory than they ever controlled before is now fit and rested and ready to threaten the Red Army on its own turf, and a Chinese Communist Party that makes all the most basic American needs, from batteries and microchips to aspirins and underwear. As to Ukraine, the Polish foreign minister says there's a greater risk of war in Europe than at any time in the last 30 years. As to the broader scene, Chairman Xi takes the long view that after a half-millennium aberration of Euro-Anglo-American domination, the planet is now returning to its rightful and natural masters. That is greatly assisted by their Fang Fang-like penetration of British businesses, British universities, and now the British Parliament.